There's literally so much crypto news out there, so how the hell do you stay on top of it all? Well, let me introduce you to crypto news aggregators. Right, so in short, a crypto news aggregator is basically just a platform that gathers all the relevant pieces of information about crypto into one place. So whether it's blogs, news articles, tweets, whatever it is, they'll gather all that information and they'll bring it onto one platform. So basically, instead of having to open up a million different tabs on your computer, trying to find out what's happening with Bitcoin, what's happening with Ethereum, who's bought what, who sold what, etc., all of that information is gathered all in one place on a single platform. That is your crypto news aggregator. Now, while no one's really going to argue with the fact that having a news aggregator is useful and it's going to help save us time and effort when it comes to trading, buying, selling cryptocurrencies, that doesn't mean that all crypto news aggregators are good or useful for our particular use case. So there are going to be some aggregators that are going to be useful for us and some aggregators that are going to be less useful. So I kind of want to share with you now the sort of simple 4-step framework that I use to determine whether or not an aggregator is useful for me and whether or not it should be useful for you. The first thing I'll look at is the platform simplicity. Now, if I find that the user experience of using a particular news aggregator is a little bit shitty, then I'm just not going to use it. Like, I want things to be pretty straightforward, pretty basic. I don't need a shit ton of features. Like, if you're new to this whole crypto area, you don't want to be overwhelmed with having loads of different tools, features, resources thrown at you. You want it to be simple. You want it to aggregate all the best news in the crypto space all in one place. You don't need anything more than that. And that's what I mean when it comes to simplicity. My second consideration is the source. So whenever you're using a news aggregator, you want to make sure that the news that you're getting is trustworthy and reliable. Like, it would be really shit if you're trying to find out about the latest news in the crypto space, only to find out that the news that they're giving you is completely wrong. So the best thing really would be to have an aggregator where all the news that's offered to you comes from a reliable and trustworthy source, and also that information is fact-checked before it's given to you. The third consideration is speed. Now, what I really mean by this is that you want to have your crypto aggregator to be regularly updated. Like, if you're getting information from, 5-10 minutes ago or an hour ago or even a day ago, it's going to be completely out of date by the time you make any decisions based on that news source. So ideally, we kind of want our aggregator to be updated on a second-by-second basis, so we're always getting the latest piece of information. Finally, the aggregator needs to be suitable to our needs. Now, what I mean by this is that depending on kind of what we're doing, whether we're a crypto trader or whether we're just someone who's writing blogs and posts on the internet about crypto, there's going to be different features on each aggregator that's going to be, more useful to us. Okay, so we've seen this sort of 4S framework for determining kind of how you would choose your own crypto news aggregator. Having looked at that, now let's take a look at what my top 5 news aggregators are on my screen. You may like some of these, you may not like some of these. There's literally hundreds of different aggregators out there, but based on those sort of 4 factors that we've just described, these are my top 5 crypto news aggregators. So if you want an interactive yet really easy to use platform, I highly recommend CryptoPanic. Basically, it's an all-in-one app and website designed to help cryptocurrency users track price movements, news, and social media sentiment. Now, the overall design is pretty basic, I guess. It sort of gives me like an old school Reddit vibe, but I find this layout quite easy and intuitive to understand. So I have no problem with the layout and actually think it works really, really nicely. And it has this constantly updating newsfeed over here on the left, bringing in like a range of different sources from articles, blog posts. We've also got a media tab, which brings in stuff from social media, so like YouTube and Twitter and things like that. So there's a whole range of different news sources that are being brought onto the platform, which is nice. We've also got this coin tracking section here on the right hand side, and this column basically tells you like the 1 hour, 24 hour and 7-day status of the crypto market. And you can click on this section for more information. So we've got this Bitcoin one here. We can click on that and we can see more information about that particular coin and also all the associated relevant news about that coin. So it's all very neat and it's all very intuitive. And if you're keen, CryptoPanic also allows you to track your portfolio using the portfolio tracker here on the left-hand side. And so you can input different amounts from each coin that you own, and you can track them all in one easy spot. So that's really nice as well, but you do have to sign up to the platform before you can use this feature. Community also seems to be a pretty big thing. So you can see here, for instance, that if you go into one of these pieces of news, that you can like and dislike particular news articles, You can either mark them as bullish or bearish. So, if you think that a particular post is going to have a positive impact on the price, you can mark it as bullish. If you could think it's going to have a negative impact, you can mark it as bearish. So there's basically a community element where everyone's sort of contributing to say whether or not a piece of news is good or bad for the crypto markets. And in addition, the app also features a pretty vibrant community of users who are always pretty happy to share their insights in the comment section below as well. I can't actually find anyone who's commenting right now, but there is a comment section here where if a particular piece of news is interesting for lots of people, they can engage with the rest of the community by sharing comments and also, vote on these various different polls. So, different members of the community can ask a question and they can get people replying to them. So, how long have you been investing in crypto? And then you can, vote for how long you've been doing it. And you can also read all the comments below about that as well. And then finally, I think the other thing that I quite like about this is the user-generated alerts section. So this is probably, in fact, their best feature for CryptoPanic. And these allow you to set up custom alerts for any keywords, phrases, or topics that you don't want to miss any news about. Now, the only real downside to the whole of this CryptoPanic thing is probably the fact that you have to pay for the Pro version. So if you go Pro, you can see that there's a bunch of other different features that cost you $9 a month or $99 a year if you want to get access to these particular features. And the custom alerts, which we just talked about, are included within that Pro package. So what is their best feature is hidden behind a paywall, but I still think this is a fantastic platform, regardless of whether or not you do decide to pay for it. Another crypto news aggregator I really like is CoinJoy, and they're pretty new. They came into the scene in about 2020, but their information and their sources are really, really credible and really trustworthy. In terms of the design, the interface is pretty neat and simple. There are no ads, and it's also really mobile friendly. So if you check out the website on your mobile, it's very easy and quick to navigate on there too. So I've got literally no complaints on the design front. They also use quite a wide range of sources, from articles to Reddit posts to blog posts and news sources to pretty much whatever you can think of. They all come in quite nicely onto this platform, and as I said before, they're all highly credible resources too. And if you don't like a particular source, it's very easy to customize them too. So if you go to the top right of this page, you can whittle them down from 123 sources to however many sources you like, and you can just get rid of the ones you don't like and then click save, and then that automatically refreshes your feed with only the relevant sources that you've clicked on. I also quite like how the sources are actually displayed within the website too. So if I were to click on, let's say, this avalanche price analysis, I don't have to actually go to the original source of that information to find out a bit about it. So I've got here, for instance, a very quick summary or a quick preview of the information that's going to be on that page, plus when that information was originally submitted. So I can very quickly find out which source or which piece of news is actually relevant or interesting or useful to me before I actually go off the site and read more about it. The other thing I quite like is their editorial section. So if I click on this tab here, so basically the website publishes articles encapsulating popular sort of crypto events and other core developments in the space. So it's a pretty good learning platform as well. We can see things broken down into breaking news, NFTs, also particular reviews of various different bits and pieces in the crypto space too. My only probably main dislike is that there are no community sentiment indicators. So I can't really see what people are thinking, what people are saying about particular coins, about particular news. And so it doesn't really help me to get a good feel about what the world is thinking. I've just got to basically rely on my own thoughts and feelings, which I guess has its pros and cons, but I quite like to hear what other people are saying. But, honestly, this aggregator is changing so quickly, it's so new, and I can see these community elements coming in pretty soon. Another news aggregator I really like is Cryptopis, or Cryptopis. I don't know, it doesn't really matter what it's called, but Cryptopis is basically the homepage for crypto-involved people, as they like to call themselves. And it's a pretty simple and user-friendly platform, and in my opinion, quite underrated in that not many people talk about it, yet its simplicity and ease of use should be something that, lots of people rave about. So I'm going to rave about it here, basically. What I really like about the platform is how easy it is for us to track the latest movements in both news and the coins themselves. So you can sort of view it however you like. I quite like the 50-50 view, but depending kind of like what you want to be using a news aggregator for, you might find an alternative view more useful for you. The aggregator is also capable of tracking the prices and market data of over like 50 plus coins. I'm not too sure on the exact number, as well as a portfolio tracking capability. So you can input your portfolio numbers in here. So, you can update all these numbers, you can input how much you own, and then you can track how much that changes over time as well. Now, the only thing I'd probably be aware of is the cheeky ad placements that they have on here at times. So if you see at the top here, it says promote your ICO for just 0.1 ETH per day. So basically anyone can come in here and place their project or website in that spot. So it may look like that is the top news or the top coin of the day, but that's not the case. It's someone advertising their coin. So that's the only thing I find a little bit cheeky and a little bit bad, but as long as you're aware of it, it doesn't really harm your experience at all. But what probably makes this aggregator stand out from all the other crypto news aggregators out there is that it has support for a ton of different languages. So there's literally like 18 different languages available, and you can filter the news by your preferred language. So if your first language isn't English, that's absolutely fine. You can just decide that you want to look up news in French and Dutch and Chinese or whatever the hell is best for you. So every user can find the news and the language that best suits them. And I find that's a really nice sort of world feel to this news aggregator. Rather than just being given British news, you can find what works best for you. Next up, we have CryptoGoat, and CryptoGoat provides a fairly easy platform for those wanting to stay on top of what's happening in the crypto and blockchain space. Now, while I'm not really a huge fan of how this thing looks, I mean, the colors and the ads here kind of make it feel like it's from the 1990s or the early 2000s, there's no questioning that the sources they bring it onto the platform are really, really good and are highly recommended. So, for example, they only feature news from top sources like A&B Crypto, CoinDesk, CoinGape, Finance Magnates, News BTC, all the Cointelegraph, all the big players in the space. And so if you want to get a constant stream of high quality news, then CryptoGoat is one of the best places that you can go, as long as you sort of avoid the garish look of the platform. They also don't feature social media content, as they believe that this would clutter the platform and open the floor to bias or unreliable sources. And for the same reason as this, CryptoGoat don't actually share anything from social media, and they don't create their own content, and they don't recommend any particular content. They want to stay completely unbiased. They want to stay very impartial when it comes to the stuff that they're offering to their users. So they're literally just going to give you the best information out there, and they don't want to sway you in one way or the other. So they want to leave it to you to decide what is good and what is not. And that's why I highly rate them when it comes to that. They just want to stay out of the way and leave you to it. So if you want high quality information, definitely check out CryptoGoat. And other than the uninspiring look, the other potential downside of the platform is its lack of filters. Like, I literally just get the news onto this page and nothing other than that. So some stuff won't be useful to me. I have to wade through all of that and find what is useful to me. I can't just click a feature or click a setting and go, I don't want to see news about, I don't know, NFTs, or I don't want to see anything about Bitcoin. I have to wade through all of that information before I can find the stuff that I actually want to see. But, it's a small price to pay for getting a constant stream of authentic and trustworthy crypto content. Finally, Coinlib is another great news aggregator, and it's something that many crypto enthusiasts rave about. It's the perfect choice if you're a far more dedicated investor in crypto trading and want exposure to analysis tools, including diagrams and graphs and things like that. Now, the aggregator boasts over 4,000 tokens, so we can keep track of the movement of pretty much any cryptocurrency or any crypto coin or token that we want. And if we click on any of these coins, there's a load of great information. We can see relevant news about it over here. We can see that there's different charts, there's prices, we've got all these different metrics, performances and technical analysis. So, it's very detailed. So if you're a crypto trader, this aggregator is a brilliant site because you're just given a constant stream of high quality information about each and every coin you can think of. It also sets itself by having a pretty decent portfolio tracker. So if you go up to the portfolio tracker up here, you can input your portfolio and very quickly see kind of how much money you're making or how much money you're losing. And you've also got all these like sort of visually pleasing graphs and all these other details and information. So if you're into tracking all the relevant coins that you own and knowing in depth kind of what your portfolio looks like, then definitely do check out Coinlib. All I would say is that I don't think the news aggregator itself on this aggregator is actually that great. So if you are trying to find out a lot of information and first derivative sources of each particular coin, then you're not going to get that information so readily. So for my purposes, I wouldn't use this for research, but it's a nice aggregator to have in your back pocket if you are thinking about trading coins. So yeah, if you want to know what's happening in the crypto news space, make sure you get a crypto news aggregator.